Hello, I'm Renee, and welcome to Ireland. Today, I would like to introduce you to a great itinerary we're going to have with the Red Orchid Women's Travel Tours. I would like to introduce you to Nupi. He is my business development manager and my guide to helping me offer you these awesome trips. And I am Renee from Red Orchid Travel, obviously, and I'm one of your hostesses with the group as well. We have five others, and we would like to invite you to think about being an armchair traveler here tonight. Come to Ireland with us, and maybe you'd like to join us in September 2025. So I'm going to hand it over to Nupi. How you doing, Nupi?
Good. Hey, I'm excited. I'm really excited to talk about Ireland. I've been going through the itinerary, and I actually got so excited I was craving a Guinness on tap, and actually went and got one. So, you know, I'm excited to talk about the itinerary. And firstly, I just want to touch base on G Adventures and what we represent as a tour operator. So I'm going to firstly introduce myself. Nupi like Snoopy without the S. And as Renee mentioned, I look after our awesome agents across Ontario and building businesses with our agents. So I'm really excited to be working with Renee on this itinerary and Red Orchid Women's Travel. So to start off with, we're going to talk about the founder of the company, Bruce. So Bruce is the entrepreneur, the leader, the philanthropist. He's the man behind it all. And basically, following a backpacking trip to Asia in 1990, Bruce had the idea to bridge the gap between mainstream travel by creating and backpacking and mainstream travel by creating more immersive and sustainable experiences. He actually maxed out two credit cards to start G Adventures at the age of 22, so really unique. And we fast forward now 34 years, and G Adventures now has over 750 itineraries on all seven continents and over 100 countries. And we're a Canadian founded company, so really proud to be a part of an amazing brand and providing awesome experiences across the globe for our travelers. So what sets us apart? One of my favorite things to talk about is our CEOs, our locally based guides. So everywhere you travel to, your CEO will be from the place that you travel. So if you go to Ireland, you're going to get an Irish guide. If you go to Jordan, you're going to get a Jordanian guide. And you get that first-hand knowledge of the destination and that storytelling that's really unique to traveling to the places you go. So that cultural experience within the group. So one of my favorite stories to talk about is Ayman, who's actually in the photo in the middle there. He's been with us for 20 years. He's one of our Jordanian guides. And I went to Jordan back in 2019 with G Adventures. And I'm a big foodie. I love my food. And I said to Ayman, where's one of the places, I can have hummus and pita bread? And we went to a place where the king actually likes to sneak out and eat hummus. So we were the only tour operator there or tour group there with all the locals, and there was pita bread coming off the fire, nice and hot, and there was hummus, coming out with olive oil being drizzled on top, and you think back on that experience, and you go to Superstore now, and it's not the same. So that's what I love about having the local guides to tell you the best places to eat, but also the sights to see when there's free time, and also the restaurants to go to. So really cool to talk about that. And another thing is that you always get to go to the spots and the monuments first because they know the best times to actually visit. So I kid you not, that's my wife and I in front of the Taj Mahal without anyone behind us. So we got there, and you can see that it's very minimal light because we got there in the very early morning hours, and we were the only tour operator there for at least 10 minutes. So everyone in the group, 16 of us, got a photo with the Taj Mahal without anyone behind us. And that's Petra on the right. I never thought I'd see Petra at sunrise. We were the only tour operator there for at least an hour before the crowd started rolling in. And getting early to these places, you beat the crowds, but you also beat the heat, and you can have that intimacy, with the destination and the group itself, which is really important. So another factor of G Adventures is everything we do is based around community tourism. Every decision we make when it comes to our tours revolves around the question, is this good for the local community? Every supplier, every accommodation, every restaurant, and everything in between is assessed for its ability to improve the well-being of every place we go to. So when you travel, you're actually traveling as a force for good with G Adventures. We also have our trees for days. So for every day you're away on your itineraries, we'll plant a tree in your honor. So if you go to Highlights of Ireland with Red Orchid Travel Women's Group, you'll actually be contributing 9 trees, which is awesome per person. So it's our brand new program. It was actually started in January last year, January 1st, it launched, and it's supporting the environment and local communities with trees. So as I mentioned, for each day you're away, we'll plant a tree in your honor. And these benefits focus on helping to benefit communities, that have been impacted by climate change, floods, desertification, soil erosion, and improving community resilience and well-being, and inspiring travelers and our host communities to become guardians of nature. So our trees will actually be grown in 17 communities around the world, which is awesome, and we'll continue to improve that. It's really important to note, Canadian travelers alone have contributed to 484,000 trees in those 17 communities. That's huge. And to give you a big number right now, 3 million trees globally to help regenerate landscapes across 17 communities across the globe. So that's an awesome project. So when you book with Renee at Red Orchid Travel, you'll actually be able to access and see in real time the progress of your tree. So we set in motion the bundle when you put your deposit down with Renee, and then you were able to watch your love unfold through your G Adventures account. So that's a really cool project to be a part of while you travel with G Adventures. So basically, to finalize, the G Adventures, we're in the business of changing people's lives, and we believe that travel can be the largest form of wealth redistribution the world has ever seen, just by traveling in small groups across the globe as a force for good. Take a look.
When I would wake up in the morning, I would see the faces of my beautiful daughters. I had no identity and also had little income. I knew I wanted a change for me and for them.
There were many fears. What would people think of me? Was it safe? But I knew this was a great opportunity.
When they came into Azad Foundation, the way they talked, they hardly talked, some of them, the way they looked, the way they thought about themselves has changed completely to women who are now so confident, so sure of how they've been able to help their families. Women on Wheels is a social enterprise that provides livelihoods as professional chauffeurs to resource poor women, and on the other hand, also provides safe and alternate transport options to women users of the services.
I learned to drive, I learned self-confidence and English, I learned about women's rights.
G Adventures believes in responsible tourism. They have a lot of women clients who come into India to travel. They were looking for safe transport options for the women who come into India. They have supported us in terms of bandwidth, in terms of fleet size, and the work that we are doing so that we can become a stronger organization.
Now I work full-time for Women on Wheels. I enjoy talking with the travelers. They feel safe with me.
I now have courage and confidence in myself. I hope women everywhere pursue happiness and freedom.
Now when I see the faces of my daughters, I know everything is going to be fine.
There you go. Really powerful video of the why and how of what we do at G Adventures. So this brings me to the really exciting part of the presentation is to talk about our highlights of Ireland with the Red Orchid ladies. And this is a 9-day itinerary from Dublin to Belfast. And this will be on the 6th of September, ending on the 14th. And then if you want to add on days, you can definitely speak with Renee to help you to make those arrangements and add on those extra pre-nights or extra post-nights to, tack on to the adventures. So as I mentioned before, I do love my Guinness. So I was really excited to talk about Ireland. It was actually the first beer, Renee, that I had when I was 16. My dad took me to a pub and was like, let's get you a beer. So beer on tap was Guinness. So I've loved it ever since. So I'm excited for everyone to try it on this itinerary, actually in the place that it's made. So this is a delightful 9-day adventure to the Emerald Isle, the cliffs of Moher, More, I should say. My wife corrected me earlier. She's got Irish blood, so it's more. Ring of Kerry, traditional music in a local pub. And seriously, it doesn't get much more quintessentially Irish than this. We mix the essential sights and time in the village to really round out the experience. So really excited for you all to be a part of this amazing experience. So let's have a look and break down the itinerary. So day one will be arrival day into Dublin. So this is an arrival day, meaning you can come in at any time. And basically this evening we want you to spend that time having some of the local cuisine, having some of the beers, exploring some of the pubs, and seeing the sights of Dublin. It's a pretty relaxed city. And Renee, you said you were there. What did you think of Dublin? What were your insights into that? Oh, I think Renee's on silent there, but that's okay. We want you to come in early, experience some of the sights of the city, and then.
Oops, sorry, I had my mic on. Mic off. Okay, so I was going to say I found it really easy to get around, but I think best of all, you need to get around, you need to get there and unwind, get yourself propelled into the time zone, because away we go.
I love that. That's awesome. And yeah, so basically, when you arrive into Dublin, it'll be a free day, for you to go out and just chill out, or spend time at the hotel and unwind. And then in the evening, you'll meet your CEO, and that's usually about 6 or 7 p.m., depending on when people are actually coming in. If people are coming in a day before, they've had that time to relax. If you're coming in on the arrival day, which is the start date of the tour, and you might be coming in later, then the CEO will make arrangements to start that a bit later. So everyone's a part of it. And then you're on your way to this awesome adventure. So for people who are coming in early, you can explore the beautiful sides of Dublin. It's a beautiful city to walk around. It's very walkable, as is most European cities and northern cities of the UK. So you can go to these quaint little restaurants and pubs, and meet the locals. The locals are friendly. They're always up for a chat. It's got that real country vibe about Dublin.
And they're around every corner.
That's it. Yeah. Gotta love that. You got a good place for a pub crawl, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So this will bring us to day two, which will be Dublin. And this is a free day. We want you to roam the cobblestone streets of the historic city and, walk along the riverside, marvel at the medieval cities, castles and the cathedrals, which are plentiful. And, we don't want you to wear yourself out too much, because you want to get out later tonight on the itinerary and experience the nightlife, which Dublin has a lot to offer. And this will be, the experience at the Temple Bar, known for its epic viewing platform at the top. So this will be a discover moment day. There's plenty to see and do in Dublin. We want you to integrate yourself into the tour and experience the sites on your own. Your CEO will provide you with plenty of options to do so. And then you can all go together and do it together, or you can venture off and do things that you might have wanted to do. But the CEO, being local to the country, will definitely be able to provide you some insights to experience the destination. So I just wanted to bring this one to your attention. This is a famous temple bar, and this is an optional visit. I'm sure you'll all want to go there. You can see sort of the lineups and the people around, but it makes for a great, Instagrammable photo for those who are on social media. And you can immerse yourself in the temple bar. It's known as Dublin's cultural quarter. You can shop around at the weekend markets, or, if it's in the morning, you can also spend that time there. You can grab a pint at the pub. You can also dine in the area's vast and diverse cuisine options. There's a lot of influence in this part of the world, and you can, most of the people in this part of the world are having a curry and a beer right now. So that's always nice, right? Butter chicken and Guinness, right? And then you can, it's right in the heart of the city, so you can go out and experience some of the other nightlife to explore. So this is what it looks like during the sort of the mid evening before it gets late. So it's a really cool place, and this is what it looks like inside.
So cool.
Yeah, really cool, right? And then I told you about Guinness, and this is also, an optional storehouse visit. You can look to, arrange this with Renee, and you can, if you've ever wanted a glass of atrium shaped in the form of a pint of Guinness, then this is your chance. And we want you to visit the storehouse and learn about the history of Ireland's most famous beer and how this dry stout is brewed. So, a fun fact: a lot of doctors back in I'd say the early times, I'd say like the 80s or the 90s or the early 2000s, would
Early
actually,
times.
yeah, would actually would actually prescribe Guinness as a way and means to get iron. For people who were lacking in iron, to drink a pint of Guinness. It would actually restore iron in a lot of people, and um, uh, flourish people's hair, as they would say. A lot of the people who were losing hair would be prescribed Guinness. So a fun fact for you. There you go. Another reason to drink it, right?
Yep. I remember it was very popular for those remedies.
That's awesome. I love that. And this is kind of what it looks like inside. I don't want to give too much away because it's a really cool tour that I want you all to experience and see for yourself. And then another awesome beverage to have in this part of the world is, whiskey. For any whiskey lovers out there, there's the option again to speak with Renee and see how you can make this a reality. Is the Jameson Distillery visit. So you can taste the differences between Scotch, American, and Jameson Irish whiskey. You don't have to be a connoisseur of the whiskey beverage. You can take a visit to the original Jameson Distillery in Smithfield, Dublin. It's been operating since 1780. That's insane, right? I mean, that's such a long
Mhm.
time. You can see that there's the oldly look about the building, and there's the modernity of the signage and the door there that you can see. Probably for easier access, and you can experience the taste and smell. Whiskies to be smelt as well, like wine, and you can get a real idea of the florals in whiskey from the barrels of oak and things like that. And you can walk away proudly with a bottle. Why not? And bring that home as a tasting certificate. This is kind of what it looks like inside. So I can already smell it. And
Well, it's good for cooking. You can marinate your meat in it.
yeah, why not, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
they used to do that. They used to have a flight of whiskeys. So maybe they do that there. I didn't
yeah,
get there.
sure. And what's not a visit, into a medieval place without a castle visit? So you'll see these in plentifuls, and they're in optionals to be arranged while you're there, or speak with Renee before you head off. And you can opt to explore alone or take a guided tour of Dublin Castle. You'll see people in medieval apparel, wanting to guide you through, and they'll provide you with, an awesome experience. And it historically served as the headquarters of English and British administrations. And the castle's part of the current government complex, which is really cool. So definitely a place to kind of take a look. Definitely looks haunted to me for anyone who likes ghosts and things like that. But this is kind of what it looks like inside. So it's kept its attire, which I love. And then we got the St. Patrick's Cathedral. Another, so we've kept this day open for you to explore on your own. And it's a full day. You can wake up, have your breakfast, and you can head out, and everything's pretty close. So you could probably get to this in most of the day. And St. Cathedral is huge. So as you can see, it's got a beautiful garden around it. It was founded in 1191, if that really does age you, that does. A walk around these breathtaking grounds will give you a glimpse into the 800 years of history. So the grounds are well kept, and easily walkable for anyone who wants to partake in that. It's very relaxing. You can sit. There's benches and places to kind of chill out and soak in the atmosphere too. And then you can go inside and witness this beauty of the churches.
Gorgeous.
Awesome. So this brings us to day 3. So this would take us from Dublin to Killarney, and continue on to Killarney with free time to enjoy the town and explore the nearby national parks. So what I want to show you is the option here, to explore Killarney National Park, and you can spend some time exploring the expansive national park, home to the only native red deer in the country, which is really cool. And the national park is a great place to enjoy nature with hiking or biking options. So you can do it at your own leisure, and walk along the edges of the famous and scenic Killarney lakes. And there's plenty of lakes to, explore and see. And they all have their own charm about them, with the mountains around them. And if you're someone who wants to, take some time to bike, you can certainly do that on the trail through the forest to seek out some of the waterfalls in the area as well. So it's the kind of thing. You can do at your own pace. You can walk in, you can walk out, or you can do some loops, or you can do some more of the harder tracks. It's entirely up to you. But you know, this is what's around you. Just really unique, just beautiful. So castles galore, and you've got these beautiful bridges, you know, to walk over. You can cycle over them as well, and then you can make your way to some of the beautiful waterfalls as well. And there's a few around, and there's a famous one starting with T. I think it's called Torque Waterfall. And then you've got an option also to visit the Muckross House in Killarney. So this Muckross House is spectacular with its gardens surrounding it. As you can see, it's a beautiful old building house. You know that it was actually built in the 19th century for the politician Henry Arthur Herbert and his wife Mary Balfour Herbert, and she was a painter. Queen Victoria actually came to visit the Muckross House in 1861, I think it was, to honour her arrival. And the Herberts commissioned the extensive gardens that cover the grounds. So it's full of rich history, and you can take a look inside as well. You've got that, you know, that Victorian look about it. That sort of, you know, you can see the wallpaper there in red, and you got the beautiful portraits on the wall, and you've got that old school dining table, you know, where everyone sits, and you've got the different doors where all the butlers will come in and serve you from different angles. It's really cool to kind of have that experience of medieval times.
So formal, eh?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Can imagine, you know. And then another visit, you know, there's another option to visit another awesome castle. And I gotta say, like, I these castles are in awesome locations. They're, you know, they're well thought out in terms of, you know, seeing onslaught of, you know, the British or other armed forces coming in, but they're really well thought out. For sightings of, you know, mountains, but also, you know, for feed coming in, like hunters, you know, bringing in deer and things like that. You've got a lot of roads that are accessible to the castle itself, but it's also at an angle that it can't be attacked from different angles. So it's really unique to see that, and how they built these and how they survived the test of time. So you can take a guided tour of this 15th century castle to the shores of Killarney. So you get to see the beautiful shores there of the coastal town of Killarney. This is what it looks like too. I'm a big castle person. I'm a big fan of, you know, medieval times and, you know, how people lived in those times and stood the test of time. It's really cool. Awesome. And then day 4 will take us to, you know, as a full day in Killarney. So this will be a day trip to experience some sights along the famous Ring of Kerry, and return to Killarney for another night in town. So I'm going to show you some incredible photos now and what you're going to witness. So for any photographers wanting to partake in this itinerary, this is just a beautiful itinerary to witness some beautiful lakes and roads that meet the coastal towns and the lakes along Ring of Kerry. So the Ring of Kerry, it gained its worldwide fame for the outstanding natural beauty and the immersive experience it offers to visitors. So the breathtaking landscapes, including rugged coastal cliffs, pristine lakes, and lush green valleys, they've all attracted artists and writers and nature enthusiasts for generations. It actually, Game of Thrones has been filmed along the Ring of Kerry too, which is really unique. And this is what you will be able to experience along the drive. And there'll be plenty of stops for you to experience some of the sites too, and the vantage points to capture these amazing photos. But here's another great photo. You'll be driving along that. You can see the road there on the edge of the coastline, which is really cool. So it'll be nice and windy for you to get those windswept photos if you want to get that theme for your Instagram. And then this is what it looks like on a sunny day. I just wanted to show a sunny day because, you know, it can be a little bit cloudy in Ireland too. It's got that sort of New Zealand feel about it in terms of you know, being surrounded by water and wind, but you know, it's beautiful on any given day. But that's kind of what it looks like on a sunny day too.
So majestic.
I know, right? You can just imagine you hanging on the edge of the cliff there, and you know, getting
kind of scary. It's kind of scary.
Right? Look at that road right on the edge there, right?
Ooh, no.
So plenty of skilled drivers along there. So I just wanted to kind of show you Killarney at night. I love the quaint little cities that you all arrive into in this tour. And you get to walk along and, again, explore some of the beautiful pubs and meet some of the locals. There'll be many different accents as you make your way across the beautiful country of Ireland. And everyone will have a story to tell you. Here's a bit of traffic here. But beautiful lighting.
They're going for Guinness.
That's right. Yeah, they're all parked up for Guinness. There you go. So day 5 will be Killarney to Galway City. And this will be a travel. You'll travel to Ireland's west coast to Galway, and you'll set off on a guided walking tour before enjoying a free afternoon to explore the city's colourful streets and the bohemian atmosphere. So that's a photo there of Galway. So you can see a lot of the cities meet the water, and it's a big part of life in this part of the world. So you'll meet a lot of fishermen and things like that. And again, Ireland's not a place that lacks entertainment, so you get to walk along and see some of that awesome entertainment. You'll have an awesome guided walking tour of the medieval heart of the city, and you'll definitely be met with a lot of that ancient medieval entertainment that people have done for centuries. So day 6 will be a full day in Galway, and this will be an awesome day to travel the breathtaking cliffs of Moher. And you'll hike the picturesque countryside along the cliffs. Now, in terms of hiking, it's going to be hilly, but it's also going to be very doable. It's going to be very relaxing. It's not going to be a paced walk in any terms of the word. It's going to be relaxed that you can enjoy all the sights along the cliffside. And you'll get to gaze out at the splendor before returning to Galway for the evening. And you can opt for a night out at the local pub, why not, and spend a few hours on this itinerary or this day following the Wild Atlantic Way, I should say, from the Dublin to the cliffs of Moher, and you'll soak in the views as you hike the trail. And you can opt for a picnic along the way, and that sounds perfect. So let's take a look at what the cliffs of Moher have to offer. So this will be about a 3 to 4 hour sort of day or visit, I should say, and you'll set off on a half-day hike. And you'll get to explore along the cliffs. And it's a maximum height of 214 meters or 702 feet, right above the Atlantic Ocean. So you get to take in the incredible views as you trek along the cliff's edge. And you'll get to visit the tower near the midpoint and look out into the sea beyond. And this is a great spot to take some fantastic photos of the panoramic view. But I wanted to show you what it looks like at different times. So this is, a cloudier day, but still just as beautiful and dramatic. And, you got that sun peeking up or going down, I should say. That's the west side of the Atlantic Ocean.
You can see people at the top there.
Yeah,
You can see how big it looks compared to a person. Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, and you'll get to spend a lot of time here, exploring the cliffside. You get to hear the water hitting the rocks and things like that. So you get to have that sort of intimacy with the beautiful Atlantic Ocean as well. And this is the tower that I mentioned. So it's sitting right at the end there. So you get some incredible photos, those windswept photos as you see out this way. And then I really wanted to, showcase the Wild Atlantic Way. So this is again, the beautiful roadsides that you'll be going across, and there'll be vantage points for us to stop and experience, some of that cliffside, and some of the rocks hitting, the water hitting the rocks. So you get to hear all of that, and just soak it in, and take in that, that beautiful fresh air that the Atlantic has to offer for you. There you go, just going through that.
We'll have to cue in Ed Sheeran about now, the Galway girl. That sounds fitting.
I love it. That's awesome. And then again, one of my favorite things to see a part of this itinerary is just going through these beautiful towns. So this is Dublin town, and you get to meet the folk of these towns as well.
Whoever took that picture is incredible. Those are irises, right?
Yes,
wow.
They are. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then on this day, you also it's a full day, but you've got the option in the afternoon to head out and explore some of the city of Galway. And this is the option to see the museum. So it's a popular attraction located next to the Spanish Ark. So you can learn about Galway's role in the Great War. Its iconic boats called hookers, and the important marine science research performed today at the Galway Marine Institute. Which is really cool. And the admission is actually free, so the museum's open to the public and visitors alike across the globe. So that's a really cool place to see some of the history that's been kept and learn about some of the culture. And then you've got the Dungwire Castle as an optional, which you can look into book with Renee. It's imposing. It's an imposing stone tower, so it's defensive walls and stunning backdrop against the picturesque Galway Bay. It's no surprise that the Dungwire Castle is one of the most photographed in Western Ireland, and it's actually built in 1520, which is insane. So it stood the test of time, and you got to imagine like these places are being hit with that wind off the oceans and the bays and things like that, and they've stood the test of time for so long. It's really cool. And
It's still standing.
it's still standing, right? That's it, yeah. And the castle later became known as the favored gathering place for literary icons like George Bernard Shaw and W.B. Yeats. So a lot of history in this part of the world to learn about some of these writers and poets and authors. So just another great example of that. You get to walk around these gardens and see. So obviously when the tide's a bit lower, you get to see a bit more of the landscape. And this is Galway at night. So right by the bay there, you'll see a lot of people, fishing and coming in for the day, coming home to their families. And you'll get to take a stroll and settle in somewhere for dinner in the evening. All right, so day 7 will bring us from Galway City to Belfast. So you'll travel along the coast towards Northern Ireland, and you'll stop for lunch in the historic city of Derry. So if anyone's ever got Netflix here and seen the show Derry Girls, so a lot of history there. You'll get to visit the mysterious dark Hedges and end the day in Belfast. So I'm just going to show you a couple of photos of Derry and what you'll be in for. So you get to drive through these beautiful. I love the cobblestone sort of fences that meet the roads. That's such a unique part or a unique thing to this part of the world. So you see it in Scotland as well. And Derry is famous for the show The Derry Girls, but also known entirely for its beautiful churches as well, and its cuisine too. So just an example over the top of the city there. So you can see the big church over there on the left. And then I want to talk about the dark hedges. So this beautiful avenue of beech trees was planted by the Stuart family in the 18th century. So it was intended as a compelling landscape feature to impress visitors. As the landscape, so as you approach the entrance to their Georgian mansion, so they kind of wanted to bring this awesome entrance to their awesome mansion as well. At the Grey Seal House. So 2 centuries later, the trees remain a magnificent sight and have become one of the most photographed natural phenomena in Northern Ireland. So that's incredible. The iconic beech trees have actually been also used to film as a location in Game of Thrones as well. So it's called the King's Road in the show or the books, if you're a big avid reader of the show and the fantasy tales of the books too. So amazing what they look like.
Game of Thrones fans.
Yeah.
And Derry Girl fans. You got to get your pictures in.
That's it. Yeah. Plenty of opportunities to do so for both of those.
I don't think there was any Outlander film there, right? That was all Scotland.
I think it was all Scotland in the Highlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so cool, right? So I can only imagine what these would have looked like when they were first planted to what they look like now. It's just they've got the trees themselves have stories to tell, and I just wanted to show you this photo of photography.
Wow.
Anyone.
Wow.
So again, just another awesome experience on this itinerary to be a part of. All right, so day 8 will bring us, the full day in Belfast. So you'll stop at the Giant's Causeway and you'll get to marvel at the natural phenomenon of its volcanic columns. And you'll continue on to the Bushmills Distillery for a guided tour of the oldest working distillery in Ireland. So then you'll return to Belfast in the evening and you'll have another awesome meal and probably another Guinness, probably the 30th for the trip, or even more, who knows?
Yeah, build a taste for it.
Right? You get a lot of, you have a lot of iron at the end of it. You'll look like Popeye, right?
Well, you know what? What did they say in Europe? It was cheaper to have beer or a glass of wine than it was to buy the water.
I love that. That's so true. So this will be a Giant's Causeway visit, and you'll stop at the Giant's Causeway, and this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most stunning coastlines in Europe. So this area is known for its unique polygonal column rock formations that were created by a volcanic eruption in 60 million years ago, if that makes you feel old. You don't want to forget your camera on this one, that's for sure. So you get to spend quite a bit of time here to explore the beautiful, causeways and the fault lines and the formations and things like that. So it's beautiful.
One of those mysterious places to explore and see, how was this done?
I know, yeah. 60 million years ago, right? It's insane.
Yike.
Can only imagine the fossils that are in those rocks that they probably digged up over time to find out that it was 60 million years ago. So yes, dinosaurs were there for sure. And then obviously we want to get you all the whiskey tastings as possible, and why not do it in the oldest distillery that is in Ireland. So this will be a tour that's as part of the itinerary, and this will be a guided tour of the old Bushmill distillery, and it's actually the oldest working distillery in Ireland. So for over 400 years, this distillery believes the secret to good whiskey is crafting the spirit in small batches. So you get to taste the difference for yourself, between the distilleries that you'll actually get to experience. But being the oldest distillery, over 400 years old, probably got to be the best one, I got to say. What do you reckon, Renee? You'll have to, put the bets on during the trip.
I'm sure it's very good. I have been through the States, through Kentucky and North Carolina, and they have some pretty good whiskey there too. And because my mother's from down there, moonshine. So I wonder if there's moonshine at the old Bushmills.
There you go. You'll have to, get on the under the table,
AKA firewater.
It'll cure your cold if anyone gets one.
Yeah, kill everything.
That's awesome. So, and then you can take one of these beautiful bottles home and probably buy a set of, the glasses to bring back. And if you're someone who has the old school whiskey tables and the bottles to pour it in, if you're a connoisseur, definitely the place to bring a souvenir back home with too. So I myself don't mind a glass of whiskey. I'm not a connoisseur, but I do enjoy the taste. So definitely something that I would look forward to on a trip for sure. But day 9, we've always got to depart, and this brings us to the end of this amazing itinerary. And if you wish to extend your stay, definitely speak with Renee before you head off, and that she can make arrangements for you to spend some more time in Belfast to tack on some more of the adventure. But that brings me to the end of my part of the presentation. I'm going to bring it to you, Renee, at Red Orchid Women's Travel Tours, and I'm going to get you to talk about how to book this awesome trip.
All righty. Well, I know you've all been an armchair traveler here, and I think maybe there might be a glimmer of excitement for you to join us. So how can you find us? Easiest place is our website, redorchidtravel.com. You can get a hold of us from there. If you don't want to go there, then you can get a hold of me through my email, renee@redorchidtravel.com. My phone number, everything's on the website, as well as we have a Facebook group for our Red Orchid Women's Travel Tours. You can message me, do all the things. I am very easily available, and join us, because if you're not there already, there's 1,200 ladies Canada-wide that want to travel and are looking for women to travel with just like you. And we hope to give you a little bit of the Irish with this tour and a whole lot of beautiful memories when you get home. Maybe some whiskey or Guinness as well. Bring home those souvenirs. But definitely consider joining us. We have a limit. It's a small group tour, and we'd love to include you. Yeah, so for more information, please do contact myself, and we'll get you all hooked up. All you have to do is decide whether you want to be a solo or you want to be double occupancy with someone else that we could help arrange to have as a roommate, and we'll set you up. There's my phone number there as well, and all the things. So there you go. Nupi, as usual, can't thank you enough. You're a fount of wisdom, and I never knew that about you with the Guinness.
Still love it today, that's for sure.
All good.
Always
Thanks
has to
again.
be on tap. Always has to be on tap.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thank you again, and we will see you next time. And we will be back with another presentation for all our armchair followers soon. All righty. Thanks everybody for being here, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.
Take care.